Rise and shine, family. Welcome back to the Truth Factory. Listen, you guys saw just a couple of days ago, I interviewed Thomas Russell on this whole fidelity issue that's been going viral. Well, I now have Tiana Russell here. She feels that she's been misportrayed. It's been given one-sided. So I brought her in so she can share her side to the story, as there are two sides. Welcome in, Tiana.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
My
I
pleasure.
appreciate coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming in here and dealing with this all over again, as I know it's been all over social media, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it's impacted your life in many ways.
Oh, that's an understatement. Honestly, after that came out, I've been getting flooded with people that I haven't talked to in like years. There's family that's been concerned, and my job is at stake right now. So it's been mind blowing.
Wow.
say
Even
the
your job is at stake.
Yeah.
Wow. Would you say it ruined your reputation in the community, or?
Yeah, it's definitely shaken up my reputation. People questioning who I am as a person, my values, my morality, because I'm very private. So obviously, most people most people didn't know about what was going on, and it's hard to try to explain everything, especially when they're seeing one side of the story, and I hadn't even gotten a chance to even communicate about it. So
Absolutely.
it's been tough.
There's this movie. It's I forget the name of it, but I think it's on Netflix. It's called Jane is Awful, or it's something
Oh
similar,
yeah.
where her whole life is
On
on
Black
display
Mirror. Yeah.
after cheating. I feel like that's what I'm watching when I watch you. Just in speaking to you, I feel like it's like that, right?
Yeah,
I got to see your
that's my life.
wow.
Yeah. I'm hearing like Thought Tiana, it's been a lot.
Wow, so they're merging your actual name Tiana with Thought Tiana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Listen, guys, we're gonna watch the video. Watch the video. If you guys have never saw the video, you got to see it for yourself. Let's watch that video, okay? I want to ask you some questions about it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. So this is for my lawyers. We've been together for 5 years, and I found out that she's been cheating for the last 7 months. And so now, what I want to do is I want to confront her and ask her if she's been cheating with me. I want her to be upfront with me. If she's not, marriage is over. That's it. I'm done. All right. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
You okay? Hey, so I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What?
The camera on for?
Don't worry about it. I was just doing something.
Oh, like the TikTok or something?
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, where were you 4 weeks ago?
4 weeks ago, when? That's like a vague
You
question.
know, when you went on that, you said you were going to that place, that spot, that little food spot with Raven.
Oh, yeah. The White Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raven. And then we went shopping.
Were you really there?
Yeah. I told you that.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
What about 3 weeks ago with Sarah?
3 weeks ago. Oh, when we went swimming?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was with her too. Why are you acting like that though?
Okay.
I told you this.
All right,
I was
all
trying
right.
to figure out what kind of TikTok video this is.
Yeah. So 2 weeks ago you were going to that spot out a couple miles out with Brianna, right?
2 weeks. Okay, so we went from 4 weeks to 3 weeks. So 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, yeah, we went to the spa. That Asian spa I was telling you about that I wanted to go to.
Okay.
It's like that 24-hour one.
That's enough.
What?
Why don't you just tell me who you're seeing?
I'm not seeing anyone. Why are you asking? That's a stupid question.
Who's Rick?
It's your brother.
I don't have a brother named Rick.
Or your cousin or whatever.
It's not my cousin.
Why are you asking these questions? These are weird questions.
Because you are cheating on me, and I was trying to see if you would come forward and tell
Nobody
me,
is cheating
like
on you.
a
What are you
natural
talking
person. Okay, so those messages in your phone where you were saying, "Oh, I love you. Oh, this is the best I've ever had. Oh man, I feel sore."
Why are you going through my phone? Why would you be going through my phone? First of all, like that, like
don't change the subject matter. Don't change the subject matter. What you trying to do?
You acting insecure.
Oh yeah.
Why are you going through my phone? There's no reason to do that.
Well, listen.
When you go through people's stuff, you find stuff you don't want to see.
Oh, so now you're gonna blame me for this then?
I'm just saying you didn't need to go through my phone. Like, why are you going through my phone? And why are you stop recording?
I don't have to stop recording.
Oh my gosh, you acting extra. Always been insecure.
You know what? We're done.
Done what?
Like, this marriage is over.
What are you talking about?
This is from our lawyers.
Why are you really?
Yeah, just
you gotta be petty like that. Why are you recording?
So you're gonna gaslight me because you want to step on the marriage. 5 years in this marriage, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you wanna go fucking cheat.
I mean, you're always working all the time anyway, so.
Oh, so it's my fault.
I wasn't cheating. I wasn't cheating.
Oh, so you just slipped and fell onto his dick then, huh?
I didn't fall onto any dick. What are you talking about? There's nothing that you saw. And like I said, you shouldn't be going through people's phone. Like, that's my privacy.
You know what?
That's my privacy. You paying for
Get out.
You know what?
Look at you. Where's the ring? Where's the $500?
We're in the house. Where's the ring in the house?
Where's the $5,000 ring? Where's the $6,000?
Like, stop.
You know what?
Extra.
Just for my lawyers. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but you got the evidence here. I'm done.
So in this video, you seemed very cold when he approached you about it. I want to start at when he first started questioning you. Okay, what did you think when he was asking you, where were you last week, and going through that, and you were recalling where you were? Were you thinking maybe he's on to me, or what was your thoughts?
Yeah, well, honestly, Kevin, before I get to that, it wasn't, and I've seen this in the comments. It wasn't that I was cold. It's I already felt a void before that. I felt empty. I felt emotionless. So him catching me, which, to be honest, maybe I subconsciously knew he was gonna catch me. You know, I was kind of sloppy about it. I didn't know how to react. I felt numb. But yeah, it's just it was a flood of everything in that moment when he was asking me, like, where have you been? It's like I already kind of knew. I'm a smart woman, but it was still hard in that moment to come to terms because I didn't want it to come out that way, and I knew he was filming it, and so it was just like, oh my gosh, like, what the hell type of feeling.
Okay, I can see a lot of people want to know how you could do your husband like that. Now I want to get to that, but first I want to ask you, how did your relationship begin? Can you tell me how that started off with Thomas?
Yeah, so to be honest, I was in a relationship when I met Thomas, but that was from someone I met in college. So we had been going steady for a while, but that relationship wasn't really serving me at all whatsoever. I like someone that has ambition. I'm an ambitious woman myself, and it's good to be with someone that matches that. And he just was kind of like a log. He didn't want to do anything, basically. He's basically like a more proper version of Jody from Baby Boy.
Okay.
And so I'm dealing with that. And then Thomas comes, and, you know, he's very well-spoken. He's a educated brother, and I fell for that. He was saying all the right things. He was
motivated.
Yeah, he was doing all the right things. So of course I'm gonna be attracted to that, and that's how he got me.
Okay, so with your ex before Thomas, okay, you mentioned that he lacked motivation, sort of like a Jody. We call those guys that don't work,
Right?
Don't really have motivation for life.
Exactly.
Of course, you feel like Thomas did, but how did Thomas treat you in the beginning versus how he treated you throughout the relationship?
Yeah, in the beginning, he put it on. He did everything right. He wined and dined me. Not only that, because I'm not that. All that aside, he listened to me. He actually cared about what I had to say and really wanted to get to know me. And I was with someone that was just basically a rock or a pillow who was just there. And Thomas was more than that to me. So the love was there.
Okay, so you felt completely alone in this relationship.
Yeah.
I heard someone once say that the feeling of laying beside someone and still feeling lonely is next to no other feeling. Is that a feeling that you know all too well?
Yeah. Way too well. And I feel like I've had it way too many times. I had it with the person before Thomas, but those situations are different because with Thomas, I invested more. I mean, we're married. I was a wife committed to him. There was no, I couldn't even fathom thinking about anyone else besides Thomas.
Okay.
Because that's who I was devoted to. And when I started feeling that with him, just feeling lonely when that person is right next to me, or when you're even talking to that person and you feel like, I don't know if you've ever had this or anyone else has had this feeling when that person is looking straight at you, but you don't feel like they see you. They're not seeing you. And that's what it felt like for such a long time with him.
Now, you saw Thomas's last video, the interview with Thomas, correct?
I did.
And
Yeah.
he talked about how you used to do everything like kind of like on a schedule. You never missed it. You always had the food ready. You always just had things taken care of.
Of course.
He explained how you started falling off of that stuff. That he felt unappreciated. Did you feel that way also? Did you feel unappreciated? The way you explain it, it sounds like you guys have a real similar experience here.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely did. I mean, from my perspective, I always did that in the beginning, of course, but it got to a point where he didn't even acknowledge the things I did. Like I love to cook. That's my love language. I love to give the person I'm with, food for the soul. Food is for the soul. And he just stopped complimenting me. He didn't even eat the food half the time. Like I'd prepare a real like big gourmet meal, and because I know he's stressed out at work, and I wanted him to come home to something warm, and he doesn't even acknowledge it and barely eats it. And it's just things like that. Or I try to fix myself up, and he doesn't notice that I have I fix my hair up, or I have a new outfit. I'm like, hey, babe, let's go out. And he's not even looking at me. One day I actually did a test where I had on, like, my favorite color is red, so I had on a sexy red dress. And he walks in, and he barely looked at me.
Absolutely.
And so things like that started to add up.
Now, obviously that would hurt. It'd make you feel alone, unappreciated, probably not beautiful to your spouse, right?
Yeah.
But I think many people would say, all those things are kind of nuanced or small in comparison to actually being cheated on. And I think that's why you're catching a lot of flack online, of course. I mean,
Right.
people know that relationships have ups and downs.
Right.
What you're naming sounds like things that could be worked on, but you seem to have found yourself in the arms of another man.
Right.
Can you tell me about Rick? How did that start off? How did this happen?
Right. So yeah, there's a lot that goes with that, because obviously it wasn't just those little things, but Thomas not showing up for the big things where I'm visibly in pain, and I'm not gonna put it all out there, but I've been in some dark places, and when you are in dark places, you want to go to your partner, who's supposed to be your best friend. And when I tried doing that, it hit me really deep. And the thing with Rick, they've been knowing each other for a while, since college, and business partners. So none of that was anything on purpose. But when I was going through that dark moment, Rick was there. And I just opened up a little bit because, like I said, my mind wasn't focused on trying to be or get with anyone else. But when I started to open up, the only person that was there was Rick, and not my own husband. And it just started to escalate from there. We got closer, and emotions became involved, and yeah, it got deeper.
Well, it is understandable that you found solace in someone who seemed to understand and support you. But can you tell me about your feelings and your affections towards Rick? Like, did you begin to care about him? Did it become more than just him being there for your emotional needs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Was it after you opened yourself up to him?
It was a gradual thing. After I opened myself up to him, Rick started doing things that I didn't ask of him, just noticing the little things that Thomas wasn't doing. And it wasn't intentional on any of our ends. It just happened. And that's how we got closer. You know, he was doing all the things, literally all the things that Thomas wasn't doing that I had asked him to do for years.
Okay.
And
With all due respect, I know the listeners have been watching and they're listening to you, and while you may have had a difficult troubling relationship to say the least with Thomas, I mean, Rick is his best friend, right?
I get that.
I heard him say in the last interview that they were best friends. They built a business together. He came to his house. Like, why Rick? Why Rick? Why would you find yourself in the arms of Rick?
Well, Rick was, like I said, he was there. I mean, it wasn't, the heart wants what it wants. It wasn't intentional. And trust me, I tried to fight it. Like, it wasn't like I just was like, here, take me, Rick. It was more like, man, is this really happening? Like, what is happening? So, you know, to answer your question, he was there. I couldn't help it.
So I want to ask you about this term, okay?
Yeah.
It's called monkey branching. Okay, this term is
Okay.
used when a woman goes from one man to another without a break in that relationship. So she doesn't get healing, okay? She doesn't live on her own, right? She goes right from one man to another. Now I'm asking this because I see a pattern. I know people are going to ask it, so I just want to make sure we get this question answered for them, okay? You were with a guy when you met Thomas.
Right.
Well, you were with a guy when you met Rick. Do you see that as a pattern? Is that something that obviously this is everywhere now that you were cheating, right? But you cheated before. You cheated on the guy before Thomas, correct?
Yeah, it was, I did cheat. Well, I prematurely jumped with Thomas before I left that relationship, but I left that relationship shortly after Thomas and I started seeing each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So because there wasn't a gap in your relationship, that's why they call it monkey
Okay.
branching. There's another word called hypergamy. It's where a woman moves from one man to a more wealthier man, or a man who can provide a little bit more of a lifestyle.
Right.
And I'm asking these questions because I want to know if you feel like any of these words would apply to you.
No, absolutely not. It wasn't about money or anything like that. Like, they're both in business together, and I work too, and obviously the business that they do is very successful, but it was definitely just a friendship. Rick and I were friends. I mean, Rick and Thomas being friends, we all became friends together, you know, and so it was just something that naturally progressed, not on purpose. I'm always like I'm always saying the heart wants what it wants, and it just kind of happened. So.
Okay, so we talked over the phone, right?
Yeah.
And you explained to me that he neglected you, right? That he missed important holidays. Well, you know, wedding anniversaries, right?
Yeah.
You said you had something for me. I know what you're saying is rough, but it ain't enough to me for you to be cheating with his friend. And you said if I watched this video, it would maybe change my mind.
Give you more
Do we have
context.
that video?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's check that video. If we got that video, guys, let's see that
Yeah.
video.
All right, guys, today is the big day. He doesn't know that I got it from his favorite store. So I'm gonna film his reaction, all right? He's outside, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll play back. What's up?
Follow me.
Okay.
Sit down. All right. Okay.
Why you gonna count?
Let's see. Okay. So remember that store we went to a few weeks back? The jewelry store, and you saw that necklace you really, really wanted, but you weren't able to get it that time?
Yeah.
Well, happy anniversary. I'll let you open it.
We went back there for this? Listen. Just.
They polished it too.
Yeah, I see that. Just. Yeah, it's nice, but you can take that back. That's good. I'm good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hold on.
Yeah. No, it's just.
Did you forget again?
What do you mean?
Why are you acting like that? You forgot the anniversary again, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh my God.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? You forgot again.
I don't celebrate.
We already had this conversation. We had this conversation.
I don't celebrate these dates. I don't celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate Easter. I don't celebrate.
Okay, but we talked about dates that are really meaningful to us.
Yeah.
You already talked about it. You said, okay, I'll do better. I'll do better next time. I'll do better next time. Like, we had this conversation already. So why are you acting like this is new to you?
Can you take that away from me, please? There's no
What do you
reason.
mean? I got this.
There's no reason why you should have got that. I didn't ask you to get that for me.
Okay, that's the point. It's a gift. I took time off of work to get this for you before it got sold.
Who told you to do that?
No one had to tell me. What are you talking about? Why are you acting like this?
I didn't ask you to take off work for me.
I literally got this as a gift. That's the point. You didn't have to ask me.
You could have got yourself.
I do a lot of things. I cook for you. You don't have to ask me. I clean. You don't have to act like. What are you talking about?
That's what you're supposed to do.
What do you mean supposed to do? It's not an. It's because I love you.
Okay, so what?
That's what we do as partners. Like, what part of that aren't you understanding? And I don't know why you're trying to give this back to me. Like, it's literally a gift.
Listen, just take this back to the store, all right? Saturday, we can
Why do you
can go to the Cheesecake Factory. You can go.
The cheesecake.
Yeah, because
That's not our anniversary. Our anniversary is today, and you literally forgot.
we can make it up some other day, all right? Just not today.
You always say
Not
this.
today.
You
Not
say
today.
not today. You said not today last year, a year before that.
I got stuff I gotta do.
We all have stuff. I work too. I work long hours just like you, and I still make time out of my day to get something like this for you. That's not
your
fair.
work is literally putting lights on in the house
That's
and
not
shit like
fair.
that. Huh?
That's not fair.
It's making a little fan
It's
go
not.
up.
It's not a fair comparison.
Yes,
You know
yes,
that.
it is. Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
not. Yes, I know you make a lot more. Okay, who cares?
Yeah, well, that's why the fridge is stocked. That's why our kids are going to college.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with remembering important dates.
Listen,
I remember everything.
I don't know what we're having this discussion for. I don't know why we're having this discussion for.
Because obviously we're having this discussion because you forgot again. Year after year, you keep forgetting. Year after year, literally. And you say, okay, babe,
Okay.
I'll remember next time. Okay, babe, I'll
Okay,
remember next time. And you forgot again.
Okay, yeah, I forgot again. Just like you forget everything else.
What are you talking about? I forget everything else.
Like you forgot that one time.
I didn't.
Exactly. That's what I thought.
I never forgot that.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I never forgot anything. And why are you walking away? We're literally having a conversation.
I was already on a call with Rick. When you decided to bring me out.
You are always working.
Yeah, because it's important to keep the freaking lights on.
Okay, the lights are still going to be on if you don't return the call.
Listen, you know what? Just whatever.
I can't believe you're doing this again.
I'm not doing anything again. You know what? Just whatever. That's my own time. You're acting childish. Hey, what's going on?
Wow. That was it. Thanks, guys.
I gotta admit, it was very cold.
Yeah. So do you understand the context?
I can definitely see how you felt lonely,
Yeah.
unappreciated, that he didn't love you very much.
Right.
I can see that. The way you stormed out the door, he didn't seem to care very much for your feelings at all. And you were trying to explain them to him too.
Yeah, and that was literally only the tip of the iceberg on things, like I've watched him give more attention not only to his work, but other things, like even material things. And I think in the video, he may have mentioned how he was just doing everything right. He was working 80, 90 hours,
Right.
but like not being present for me ever. And it hurts watching him spend like thousands of dollars. Like I think he just got a new car, almost like $100,000, and then he spent another $30,000 at the casino. And then in this, cheating expose video, he talks about the $5,000 ring, and people were thinking, oh, she's probably a gold digger. But this ring it was $2,000. It was $2,000. Beautiful ring. But I say that to say it's not the money that matters, but when I literally watch you spend money on all these other things, like I don't feel important. I don't feel valued. So it's more the principle. It's not about the money. It's never been about the money for me.
Right. Okay. Because many people would say that sounds superficial, like you're complaining about the price of the ring.
Right.
But you're saying if you can watch him throw away 30 grand at a casino,
Yeah.
Somehow him getting you this ring and it costs $5,000 makes you feel, or $2,000 makes you feel like you don't matter to him.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like I don't have much value.
Okay. Okay. Well, so I want to ask you this. Okay. They often say that women struggle with taking accountability. Okay?
Right.
Looking at this relationship, how it ended ultimately. Do you take accountability for how your marriage ended? I know he didn't treat you right, but you could have left him.
Right.
You could have went to counseling.
Yeah.
And again, overall, you could have left him and then built a relationship with another person, but you decided to do it during the relationship. Do you take accountability for at least that part? Of course, you were hurt and lonely, but do you see where you were wrong in that instance?
Kevin, there's honestly not a day that goes by that I wish that I could go back in time and do everything different. I take full accountability 110%. It's why I'm going to counseling about it all, even though I'm the one that cheated. I'm the one that hurt him in that way. But at the same time, there obviously needs to be healing for me. And I would have communicated and told him that I'm not happy. And I thought that and here's the thing, with women, sometimes we tend to want to expect the man to see our context clues. Maybe I know I should have been more direct with him and said that I'm not happy, but I feel like for years I've tried to get him to see me. I've tried to get him to just talk to me, just, make me feel valued, make me feel wanted, and all of that piled together, and then me meeting Rick, it was a lot.
Yes, ma'am. Well, look, I got two more questions for you, and
Okay.
I know it's been difficult, but we're going to get through it, okay? So I asked Thomas a question in the last interview, and he walked off. It was so it troubled him so much. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the same question. Okay, in the bathroom, Thomas says to you that you texted Rick that you were sore. Now, I asked Thomas how this made him feel, as a man. He couldn't answer the question. But how did it make you feel as his wife, seeing him look you in your eyes and ask you that question?
Well, that is definitely something I did not want him to see. I'll just say this. Yes, Rick was there in many ways physically.
Well, you said you opened yourself up to him. I'm thinking that
Yes,
up a little farther than where you've...
physically.
No pun intended.
Yeah, physically. And again, I don't want to put salt on the wound. I wouldn't have wanted him to see that. But yes, Rick was there physically, emotionally. And the nights that I'm lying down with Thomas, I can't remember the last time he had touched me, to be honest. But again, I don't want to put any more fuel to the fire.
Okay, I understand.
But, yeah.
My last question, okay, so because you were dealing with Rick and Thomas, did you consider Thomas's health? Being that you're now sleeping with multiple partners, a lot of times we take, we live in a hookup culture where, so people don't really see cheating as grave as it is, as serious as it is. But I often say you're risking your partner's life, and when you're in a relationship, you should be safe from that, right? But when someone chooses to cheat on you without your consent, you're not knowing that, then you are still now risking your life just as you would be if you were single, just messing with any old person.
Yeah.
And relationships should be safe, right? Did you think about it while you were messing with Rick, the health concerns and potentially even getting pregnant with his child?
Yeah. I mean, Rick and I were responsible. We actually talked about that, and he wasn't seeing anyone else. And I know I stepped outside the marriage, so it's just it sounds weird, but it was just us.
Sure.
And we made sure that we were protected and that I wasn't going to bring back anything to Thomas. So yeah, no, we consider that for sure.
I often say that men should practice staying in man frame. Okay, not throwing your life away in a moment just because things got, challenging. Thomas could have responded in the worst way, and that could have been being physically violent towards, Rick or even yourself. Did you think about things like that, or did you think about his demeanor and, say to yourself, he won't handle it that way, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't put anything past anyone, which is why I definitely would have done it differently. I didn't expect him to find all that. But, knowing Thomas and how he was reacting in that time, I didn't feel like I feared for my life. But at the same time, I'm grateful that he didn't do anything more violent. I'm sure a lot of viewers would do things differently, or, they said that he was very calm about it. But it's why I just kind of kept it under wraps. I didn't know how I was going to bring it up to him or what that looked like, just because it's a very high stakes situation. So.
Okay. Well, okay. So last thing, considering how this last relationship ended, in your next relationship, and I'm going to ask you if you are what you and Rick are going to do going forward, but in your next relationship, would you do things differently? And I'm asking because you got into one relationship while you were still with someone when you met Thomas, and the same thing just happened again with Rick. I would suggest in relationships before you get into another one. All right. But
Right.
I'm asking you personally, how do you feel about that being that this impacted your life being everywhere?
Right. Obviously, learning from the lesson. I jumped from one relationship to the other and then doing it again. But being very communicative and, tending to our needs. And although I don't foresee Rick doing that to me in the future, I definitely will take it upon myself to end something before I jump into anything else.
Okay. Okay. So are you and Rick going to move forward? Are you guys going to be together or have a relationship, or are you going your separate ways?
So, yes, we are still together. We are deciding to move forward. I know and we're prepared to face the backlash.
Right.
I was hesitant to say that because, we're going to work things out and continue exploring.
Wow.
What we have, yeah.
Now, have you considered what if Rick has trouble with trusting you due to how your relationship started off? Have you thought about these small things like that?
I've thought about that, but like I said, he knows me more than anyone right now, and he knows what was lacking before and why I got to the mindset and headspace I was at. So he knows not to bring me to that place. And I feel like if Rick the man is the man that he portrays himself to be, he's not going to allow that. He's going to make sure that I don't even wander. And that's all I want. That's all I've ever asked for. I didn't foresee any of this happening. I'm not perfect. I'm human, and that's all I just asked for.
Okay. Well, you're obviously where you want to be now, and it's good that you are happy and all that stuff. I would say that the next time you're in a relationship, if it's rough, you have to face those challenges head on, work through them. You can't just abandon that person and step out. I often encourage people to go get a plant, and even if it wilts, don't change the plant out. You have to nurture it back to life, right?
Yeah.
I encourage you to get my book. It's called The Emotional Terrorizer. It's for people when they go through very emotional times, they can tend to do things that's completely outside of their character. And that's up to ruining their lives and other people's. Don't make them bad people, but you can work and amass things and achievements for your whole life. And one mistake when you're emotional can ruin it all. And
Right.
this book is to try and help people be able to navigate while they're under distress and emotions. Okay, so I want you to read this book and see if you see yourself in it. And I think it has a lot of useful tools that can help you from making those type of decisions when you're under duress.
Yeah.
Okay, because in loneliness, you essentially broke your home.
Yeah.
You know, right?
And again, that's something that I'm trying to forgive myself for. I know that Thomas is in pain. I know a lot of people are hurt and distraught right now, and that's why I'm working hard to just heal and move forward and obviously make different decisions.
Absolutely. Well, listen, it was great having you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for opening up.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go? I know, like you said, you got a bad break.
Right,
It seems
right.
everybody's against you. They only displaying you from this harsh side of
Yeah.
infidelity and not really seeing how you felt
Right.
during the relationship.
Yeah.
I wanted to give you an opportunity to share that with the listeners in the world.
Yeah, and I want to say for those watching, first and foremost, I don't condone infidelity. If I could go back, I would do everything differently. But I think it's important to just be aware and real with yourself when it comes to things like that. And hopefully everyone watching, you can learn from the mistakes I made. And for those of you still here watching my story, thank you for listening to my perspective on things. So.
One question before we end. Is it possible for you to get me in contact with Rick? I would love to interview him.
Yeah, I can. I'm sure I don't think he would mind, but yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Sounds amazing. All right. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, guys, stay tuned for more, okay? We're going to see if we can get Rick on here. See y'all soon.